I've got a tough topic today. I want to talk about what I call the Curse of McPhetridge. Well, I'm going to say the real name, the Curse of McPhetridge. I have two big fears in life, okay? I'm not afraid of much. I'm not afraid of spiders, heights. I'm not afraid of roller coasters or, I don't know, snakes. Even scorpion. Like, if you covered me in scorpion, I wouldn't be afraid. I'm not afraid of the dark, obviously. There are two things I'm really, really, really scared of. Cancer, for obvious reason. That really fucking scares me. I have to say cancer fucking keeps me awake at night. And the second thing that terrorizes me is having a retarded child. That's the only two things that scare me. Cancer, whether it's me or a family member, because I know what it's like going through that and all that. Either me or a family member having cancer or having a retarded kid. And honestly, I don't know which one is worse. Like, if you had me choose, Nathaniel, what do you want? You can either have cancer or have a kid like Dustin McPhetridge. What do you choose? Damn, that's a tough thing to decide. Damn. Having a retarded kid is my vision of hell. And I don't mean retarded necessarily as in cerebral palsy, but autism, heavy autism, extreme autism, the people that are like non-responsive or, the retards. Why is it so not correct to employ the word retards? I get that it's disrespectful for those people, but let's face it, Dustin McPhetridge is a fucking retard, okay? I'm gonna say it. Like, yeah, he has cerebral palsy and that sucks. But look at what he does, what he is, what he says. Like, I want to get you drunk so I can hurt you real bad. Like, I can have sex really hard and it's going to hurt you real bad. That's a 13-year-old girl. He's like, I want to rape you and take your virginity and then taste your blood from taking your virginity. Then he goes, give me your SSN. The guy's a piece of shit, okay? Dustin McPhetridge is a giant turd. But more than that, having a retarded kid is my biggest fear. If I had to choose between the two, cancer or having a retarded kid, I would choose the retarded kid, because here in Canada you can just place them somewhere and then you never hear about them again. That's what I would do. Like, if I have a retarded kid, I would call, I think it's like it's called like a home, some kind of family foster home. And you just place them there and the government pays some people to take care of them. Basically, that's what it is. I'll be blunt. When it comes to retarded kids, I think those people should not live. I mean, okay? That's what I think. I do mean retarded, like people like Dustin. That Dustin should not live, okay? Dustin McPhetridge, even Lorne Armstrong, has more of an utility to society than Dustin. And by that, I don't mean everyone with cerebral palsy. I don't mean that. I've never called anyone with cerebral palsy a retard, except Dustin. Never. I have a neighbor, he has cerebral palsy, okay? He can barely walk with 2 canes. And he's an awesome dude, and he works. He has a job. And he works, and he earns more than me right now because I'm unemployed. The guy can barely move his legs, and he can only move one arm. And he has a job, I think, as legal typing something. It's a job that they gave to him because he's handicapped and they get a bonus. But it's still $40,000 a year. It's not a bad job. People are perfectly normal. Sorry, sir. They don't earn that. But Dustin, no. Dustin is not going to work. He's not going to learn and become a lawyer or a programmer. No, it's too much trouble. And he's definitely smart enough to have a job. Maybe not like an Olympic runner or something like that. But he could become a programmer, could become a lawyer, he could even become a doctor. He could become a psychiatrist, You don't need hands, you don't even need legs to be a psychiatrist. He could become plenty of jobs. He could become typing, or he could type, or all that. But no. Dustin stays home and he gets disability payment. And that's why I call him a retard. It's not enough for him to be a leech on society and take our money. We pay for him. We have to send him a check every month. Well, not anymore. He's in jail, but you get my drift. It's not enough for him to take our money. He has to try to rape our kids too. Like, what a fucking lack of respect. Dude, we pay your food. We pay your rent. We send you a check every month. And you use that free time. You know, you could work, you asshole. You could go to work, you fucking asshole. But no, Mr. McPhetridge would much rather go on the internet and rape little girls. And not just once, 2 times that we know of. Who knows how many more kids he chatted with. That's why I called him a fucking retard. And with fucking retards like Dustin, let's say Lauren Armstrong. I don't really think he should be euthanized. I think he should remain in jail forever, but I still think he should have a job in jail. Maybe he can build some plates, like, car plates, or maybe he could go in jail and, I don't know, build something. That's what I think he would do. But Dustin, that guy is worthless. He's not even a human being. That piece of shit is worthless. He can't do anything. He's never going to achieve too much more. He's never going to achieve nothing. He's a retarded piece of shit. And that's what I think. That's why I think that Dustin, should be killed. He should be euthanized. Like, that fucker. And people who are heavily disabled, it's a bit eugenic and all that. But I still think that people that have, like, extreme disability, but then again, where do you draw the line? But I read a case, like, about a kid that is, like, non-verbal. He has bones that break at any hit is break. It's the mother died during her pregnancy, and the kid has cerebral palsy. He can't talk. He can't do anything. Basically, he has a, how's it called? Like, the not strokes, but epileptic crisis, epilepsy. And he has a small brain, he's deformed, he has extremely low IQ and all that. What's the point of keeping that person alive, You might say maybe one day we'll figure out a treatment. It's very, 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 very unlikely. Isn't it more cruel to keep that being alive and spend resources on that kid? It's debatable, That kid has never achieved too much. He'll be lucky to be able to. And that kid had to be fed, like, through a hole in his neck. It was really horrible. But I get the argument. No, we cannot let him die because where are we going to draw the line? So, okay, I can understand the argument. But let me be blunt, okay? If I have a kid like that, that's why it's my biggest fear. If I had a kid like that, I wouldn't take care of him or her. I'm blunt here. And I do mean a heavily disabled kid. I would place him in the center. You can do that here. You just sign a document and you dump the kid. And then, you can try again. You make another kid. I'm cruel. I'm sorry for the ladies I might be offending. So, but at the same time, the big problem is your wife. My wife is probably not going to want to place the kid away. She's not going to want to get rid of the kid. She's going to say, he's still my son, and he might cure, he might get better. Like, I have a friend, more an acquaintance from my time as a grad student. They just had a kid, and during the pregnancy, they did, like, the test, and the kid has a trisomy. How's it called in English? But 21, extra chromosome and chromosome 21. How's it called in English? I'm gonna Google it because it's important. Is it trisomic, a mongoloid, I think? I'm gonna Google that. He has a trisomy. Yeah, trisomy. Down syndrome, that's what I was looking for. So they found out the kid has Down syndrome. And the girl, actually, her brother has Down syndrome. So it's not out of nowhere, a younger brother. And that's another story because while she was growing up, the parents were mostly taking care of the brother with Down syndrome, and she was neglected a bit, blah, blah, blah. So anyway, they figure out their kid has Down syndrome. Now, I know what you're thinking. My first reflex is abortion, Like, abort the kid and try again, It's the lottery. It's like, how can I say? It's like a chicken that is born, like, this form. You're not going to raise the chicken to be killed and transform into McNuggets. Well, maybe because McNuggets has low standards. But you have a bad kid, just end it and restart. I know you're attached and you have hope, and it sucks. I'm not saying it doesn't. But that's what you should do. You should abort the kid with Down syndrome. To me, it's obvious. But the girl doesn't want to. The guy wants to. The guy is desperate. My friend is desperate, and he's like, oh man, I want to abort. I don't want to. The kid has Down syndrome. But the girl's like, maybe it won't be so bad. Maybe he'll be okay. He's still our son. And I'm like, no, he has Down syndrome. And I want to be mean, because I know people with Down syndrome that are okay-ish. But okay-ish is a pretty big word. They are not that okay-ish. They are not doing well. They need the treatment all their life. They need, the kid's going to be living with his parents all of his life. And what's the point? What's the point? So if you know the kid's going to have Down syndrome, abort. The guy wants to abort, the girl doesn't want to abort. And now the guy is stuck with it. It's not like you can go and drug her and have her get an abortion. And he's really... he's going to leave her. He's going to quit her. I feel their couple is going to break because of that, because he really doesn't want to raise that kid. But the girl wants to. And that's my biggest fear. Having a kid like Dustin. Oh, look at that piece of shit. Look at him. That's stupid gay. That's stupid. Everything about this man screams piece of shit. We have a more recent picture. I guess he has a barb now. He's like, oh, you bad. And that's what I call the curse of McPhetridge. Having a retarded kid. That's one of my biggest fear in life. I'm going to meet the woman of my dream. I'm going to marry her. I'm going to have a kid with her. And then the kid's going to look like that. Or like that, even worse. That's even worse than Down syndrome. Fucking Rob Klein. I miss you, motherfucker. But anyway, that's my biggest fear in life. If I'm stuck with that. And then you're stuck with it. It's not, you can place them in the center, but your wife's not going to want to do that. She thinks as a woman, that's my kid. I don't want strangers to take care of him. I'm not going to abandon him. And honestly, Dustin is not that bad physically. But let's say Down syndrome or severe autism. And that you can detect, by the way. Fuck. That's my biggest fear in life. I feel, honestly, I'm going to go back to my friend who's going to have a baby with Down. If I was him, I would cash out everything and I would go live in another country. Let me Google the French Foreign Legion. Do they still accept people? That's what I would do if I was him. I would get the fuck out of there. I would get the fuck out of Canada. Dude, do you have any idea how hard it is to raise a kid with Down syndrome? But that's what I would do. I would go join the French Foreign Legion, whatever. Or I would go to another country far away and, let's go to a country where they will accept you. Let's say, for example, you're a good chemist. You can go, I don't know, somewhere far. Malaysia, maybe. You can emigrate that. You do the immigration process in secret without your wife knowing, and you just disappear. Well, you don't disappear. She could track you down, but you just leave far away. You go to Malaysia, and then what's she's going to do? She's going to have a retard kid. And what is she going to do? She's going to come to Malaysia, you need to come back and help me raise him. No, that was actually my advice to my friend. If she doesn't want to abort, believe me, you don't want to raise a kid like Dustin, or worse than that. Well, it can be worse than Dustin because he's a child rapist, but being stuck with a disabled kid is one of my biggest fears. Up to a point where I might not have kids just because I'm too scared of that. One of the person I like a lot is Charles. He's actually an announcer here in Canada, that guy. He's a guy that he does the announcer in many several shows. And he's a very good presenter. He presents very well. And he's a very happy person in general. He's a very nice person. He's tall, he's charismatic, he has a presence. You can see just how he looks. Yeah, a good picture of him. He's a good, he does a very good job, and everyone in Quebec would be like, yeah, this guy is a very good presentator, and he does announcer, and he managed galas and all that. And everything was going fine in his life until he had his retarded son. That's him. And he has extremely severe, I don't know how it's called, but I don't want to insult your son, Mr. LaFortune, so I'm not gonna say it, but he has extremely severe autism, I think. And extremely heavy autism. He's completely dysfunctional, and the kid has heavy autism, and they didn't know. And when they found out that the kid was extremely heavy autist, it fucked his life up, like completely. Like if you look at the son, it fucked his life up to have a son like this. Like, he is completely dysfunctional, and he's just like a zombie, but a zombie that bites, and he can get mad and all that. It's none of my business, but if I had a son like that, I think I would kill myself. You're stuck with it now. No, I'm not gonna even continue about that. It's too sad. But you can see he cries when he talks about his son. He's like, and he says at this point, my life is hell. He's very blunt about it, and that's his wife, and she's very pretty. And he says, like, ever since I found out my son was autistic, and they have to do everything. They have to dress him up, they have to give him bath, and he screams and he hits people. It's not a fun subject. Why did I start this video? They have to wipe his ass. They have to make him eat. All this for what? He's not going to get normal eventually. He's going to stay like that forever. He's going to be 60 and still like that. So he's going to spend his entire life, all of his energy and time and efforts for nothing. You might say, no, he gets pleasure from him. No. In that interview, he's very candid about it. He says, like, it's hell. I can't stand it anymore. It's horrible. And I believe you. That's my vision of hell. I mean, no offense to you, mister. So, when I talk about the thing that scared me, having a kid like that, at least that guy, he can talk, but he's also a pedo, so I would rather have a non-pedo son than a pedo one. That's like the worst criteria. So that's the curse of McPhetridge, okay? But to make it even worse, okay? Dustin has cerebral palsy, and they know very, very fast about that. It's very, very quick. The mother could have easily killed him, okay? She could have let him die. She could have left him in the bath and then pick up a phone call. I'm disgusting, am I not? But the woman, the mother, could have killed him. She could have, put him in the bath and, I'm going to pick up the phone and there's an accident. I call 911, I forgot, I cry. It's not really criminal, it's an accident. Or you have a pool and you leave the fence open and you're like, I lost my son 5 seconds, I didn't see him. It's going to be classified as an accident. You're not going to get charge or I'm really gross. I'm gross, but I'm blunt. You can just say that. I'm saying the truth. I'm pretty sure that in all of the history of humanity, there are quite a few people. I'm not gonna publish that video. I'm too gross. I started, now it's too late. But I'm sure in the history of humanity, there has been many cases of parents getting rid of their kids like that and just saying it's an accident. Every time I read the news about a kid drowning in a pool, I always wonder if it wasn't a murder. You never know for sure. Yeah, it's an accident. My kid, I lost him off sight 5 seconds and he went into the pool and he drowned. If I had a kid and if I had a pool, it would be very well protected and I would never leave the kid near the pool. And more than that, I would teach the kid to swim very young so he can at least float, So all this to say, the curse of McPhetridge. Not only did her mother not kill him, as she should have, but she took care of him. She fed him. She clothed him. She gave him a roof. She gave him love. She gave him everything. And this is how he thanks her, by getting arrested and sent to jail for 10 years for child pornography. Imagine how ashamed the mother must have been. And as far as I'm concerned, she's completely innocent. She did nothing wrong in her story, except not killing Dustin, but I can understand her for not doing it. So for 26 years, she devoted herself to her retard kid. And you know, it's not a normal childhood. There is no soccer league or chess club or, you know, he has a cerebral palsy. It's not easy to get accepted and just have a normal social circle. Most of the time when you have a son, he has cerebral palsy, people are not going to invite you. So the mother devoted herself to him for 26 years. She took care of him. And at 26, he was still living with her. He was still a drag on her. Dustin is in his 2 fucking bedrooms. And that's how he thanks her. It's not enough to rob her of her life. He has to go and delve into kiddie porn and try to rape a little girl. Imagine the mother. Imagine how destroyed she must have been. And imagine all of her friends. They found out, like, wow, Dustin McPhetridge is a pedo. And he got arrested. Oh, I always thought he was a bit weird. And then they go like, oh yeah, I went there with my son once. Did he try anything with my son? Imagine how the mother must have cried and cried and cried. She must have suffered terribly. And as far as I'm concerned, the mother of Dustin has done nothing wrong. But her life must have been ruined. They might have been forced to move away. Maybe the neighbors were like looking at her like, they scoff at her, or they're like, ugh. And that it might have, you know, it's psychological torture. It might have destroyed her. So she might have had to move away to another state just because she couldn't stand her social circle. Everybody talking behind her back. Everybody, maybe they even kicked her out of her circle. Like, we don't want to see her anymore, Miss McPhetridge. And that's what I call the curse of McPhetridge. Not only do you have a retarded kid, but the kid ruins your life. 26 years later, you give the kid everything. That guy had the next buck. He had enough time to burn some wrestling DVDs. And he had to go commit a felony, a severe felony. You know, if it was soliciting a prostitute, I would have said, okay, he solicited a prostitute, but he has cerebral palsy. How else is he going to get sex, you know? Sorry. But no, he tried to rape a kid. And he destroyed her mom's life. What a selfish little prick. He's 26. He doesn't need to live with her mom. But I have cerebral palsy. Poor me. I fucking hate this guy. And that's what I call the curse of McPhetridge. Having a child like this, it's a curse. When you see him being born and he looks like that but as a baby, you're like, no, I'm cursed. I have to remove the curse. I'm going to go see a shaman. And the shaman is going to burn him alive. That's how you remove the curse. So thanks for listening. I hope I didn't gross you out. The curse of McPhetridge. That's how I call having a kid like that. It's probably the worst kid you could ever have. I cannot think of a single kid that is worse than Dustin McPhetridge. A selfish, smug, narcissist, self-centered, obsessed, pedophile, child molesting, disabled, retarded, half-paralyzed piece of shit. That's what Dustin is. And he didn't give a damn about anyone but himself. And the harm he caused his mother, he doesn't give a damn about it. It's all about him. I hate how he uses his handicap to attract sympathy and, oh, it's me. What about your mom, Dustin? How much did she suffer through this? You don't give a shit, of course not. Thanks for watching, everyone. And may the curse of Dustin McPhetridge never hit you. If I ever get a disabled son, I'm going to listen to that video again and cry for 10 hours straight. And then I'm going to kill myself. I feel it's the only way to remove the curse. I'll adopt. That's how I will do. I'll adopt. But that has other problems too, I guess. Thanks for watching, everyone.